Hello, in this video, we are going to discuss classification of industries from chapter Manufacturing Industries of Geography class 10th, chapter number 6. Industries can be classified on different bases, and according to different bases, we are going to classify different industries. Okay, we are starting with on the basis of the source of raw material used. On the basis of the source of raw material used, industries can be classified as agro-based industries and mineral-based industries. Agro-based industries are those types of industries which uses raw materials which are obtained from agriculture. Agro-based industries are those industries which uses raw materials obtained from agriculture. Examples of such industries are cotton industry, woolen industry, jute industry, silk industry, then rubber industry, sugar, tea, coffee industry. So those industries which uses raw materials obtained from agriculture, such industry is referred to as agro-based industries. Mineral-based industries are those industries which uses minerals as their raw materials, and these minerals are extracted from the earth. So those industries which uses minerals extracted from the earth as their raw materials, such industries are called mineral-based industries. And examples of mineral-based industries are iron and steel industry, cement industry, aluminium industry, machine tools, petrochemicals. All these are the examples of such industries. So on the basis of raw material used, industries can be classified as agro-based industries and mineral-based industries. On the basis of their main role, industries can be classified as basic industries or consumer industry. On the basis of their main role, industries can be classified as basic industry and consumer industry. Basic industry is also referred to as key industries. Those industries which supply their products or raw materials to manufacture other goods, such industries are referred to as basic industry or key industries. These industries, they are supplying their products or raw materials to other industries so that those industries can manufacture products further. Examples of basic industries are iron and steel industry, copper smelting, aluminium smelting. All these industries come under the category of basic industry and key industry. Second category of industry on the basis of their main role is consumer industry. Those industries that produces goods for the direct use of the consumer. It means those industries which are producing goods for the consumer, and the consumer, they are directly using those goods. Such industry is referred to as consumer industry. Example of consumer industry are the sugar industry, toothpaste, paper, sewing machines, then fans, ACs. All these industries are referred to as consumer industry. Second, on the basis of the capital investment. On the basis of the capital investment, industries can be classified as small scale industries and large scale industries. On the basis of the capital investment, industries can be classified as small scale industries and large scale industries. Small scale industries are those industries which requires the maximum investment up to rupees 1 crore. Those industries which requires maximum investment up to rupees 1 crore, such industry is referred to as a small scale industry. Small scale industries employs less number of laborers. The labor requirement in small scale industry is less as compared to the large scale industries. So large scale industries are those industries where the investment is more than 1 crore. Industry where the investment is more than 1 crore, then such industry is referred to as large scale industries. So the basis of capital investment, industry can be classified as small scale industries and large scale industries. On the basis of ownership, on the basis of ownership, industries can be classified as public sector, private sector, joint sector, and cooperative sector. So on the basis of ownership, industries can be classified into four categories: the public sector, the private sector, joint sector, and the cooperative sector. First two we have studied in economics, the public sector and the private sector. So let's discuss these four types of industries on the basis of ownership. First, public sector. Those industries which are owned, managed, controlled, and operated by the government. Those industries which are owned, controlled, managed, and operated by the government are called public sector. Example: BHEL, Bharat Heavy Electricals Limited; SAIL, Steel Authority of India Limited. So BHEL and SAIL, these are the examples of public sector because they are owned, controlled, and managed by the government. Then the private sector. Industries which are owned, controlled, managed, and operated by the individuals or the group of individuals. Those industries which are owned, controlled, managed, or operated by individuals or the group of individuals is called the private sector. Example: Tisco, Tata Iron Steel Company. Then Bajaj Auto, Dabur Industries. All these are the examples of private sector industries. Then the joint sector industries. Those industries which are jointly run by the state and individuals or a group of individuals. Those industries which are jointly owned by the state and individuals or a group of individuals. Here state means the government. So those industries which are owned by the government and by the individuals or the group of individuals, such industries are referred to as joint sector industries. Example of joint sector industries are Oil India Limited. It is jointly owned by the private and the public sector. In short, you can say industry is owned, controlled, and managed by the government and the individuals or the group of individuals. Such industry is the joint sector industries. Example is oil, that is Oil India Limited is the example of such industries. Then the last category is the cooperative sector industries. Cooperative sector industries are those industries which are owned, controlled, managed, and operated by the producers, suppliers of raw materials. Those industries which are owned, controlled, managed, or operated by the producers or the suppliers of raw materials, workers, or both. Such industries are referred to as cooperative industries. So these industries are owned, controlled, managed, operated by the producers of the raw materials or the suppliers of raw materials, workers, or both. Such industries are referred to as the cooperative sector industries. Example for cooperative sector industry is Amul, AMUL, Anand Milk Udyog Limited in Gujarat is the best example of the cooperative sector, which is controlled, owned, managed, and operated by the producers of raw materials or by the suppliers of raw materials or workers. Such is referred to as cooperative sector industries. Next, the last classification of industries on the basis of bulk and weight of raw materials used. On the basis of bulk and weight of raw materials and finished goods, industries can be classified as heavy industry and light industry. Heavy industry are those industries which uses raw materials which are heavy in nature and the goods which are produced are also heavy in nature. So those industries which are using raw materials which are heavy in nature, and the goods that they are producing is also heavy in nature. In nature, such industries refer to as heavy industries. Example: iron and steel industry. Iron and steel industry uses iron ore. Iron ore is heavy in nature as raw materials, and iron steel produced is also heavy in nature. So those industries which are using raw materials which are heavy in nature, and the finished goods with that they have produced are also heavy in nature, such industry is called the heavy industry. Then, on the basis of the bulk and weight of raw materials used, the second industry is the light industry. Light industries are those industries which use light raw materials, and the goods that they are produced, those goods are also light in nature. Those industries which are using raw materials which are light in nature, and the goods that they have produced are also light in nature, such industries are known as light industries. Example: electrical industries, watches, watches industry, electrical industry, they're using raw materials which are very light in nature, and the product that they are producing, they are also light in nature. So on the basis of raw material used, we have agro based industries and mineral based industry. On the basis of their main role, industries are classified as basic industries and consumer industry. On the basis of capital investment, industries can be classified as small scale industries and large scale industry. On the basis of ownership, industries can be classified as public sector industry, the private sector industries, the joint sector industries, and the cooperative sector industries. On the basis of the bulk and weight of raw materials and finished goods, industries are classified as heavy industry and light industry. So this is all about the classification of industries. Thank you.